If you feel unfulfilled at work, watch this. Most people don't hate their jobs. They hate who they have to become to survive their jobs. They hate the emotional struggle that is attached to their jobs. You wake up tired. You drag yourself through the day. You tell yourself you're just being ungrateful. Because technically your life is fine. But something inside you feels restless. You feel unfulfilled at work, even though nothing looks obviously wrong. And here's the question that almost nobody asks. What if the problem isn't your job, but the version of yourself you've been forced to perform? In this video, we're going to talk about why so many people feel unhappy and restless in their careers, what that feeling is actually trying to tell you, and how reconnecting with your authentic self may completely change how you approach work and life. First, let's look at the silent epidemic of career unfulfillment. Millions of people are walking around with a quiet feeling they rarely talk about. I should be grateful, but something feels wrong. You may recognize some of these signs. You constantly feel drained at work. You feel like you're playing a role. You struggle to explain why your work feels empty. Sunday evenings bring a feeling of anxiety or dread. On the outside, everything can look normal. You may have a stable job, a respectable career, a steady income, but internally, something feels misaligned. This experience is far more common than people think. Many people don't realize that career dissatisfaction is often a signal of deeper misalignment between who they truly are and the life they are living. And when that misalignment grows over time, it creates something powerful: restlessness. Now let's look at what your restlessness is trying to tell you. Restlessness is often misunderstood. People think it means they are ungrateful, they are impatient, they lack discipline, but in many cases, restlessness is actually a signal of authenticity. It's the part of you that refuses to stay comfortable inside a life that doesn't fully belong to you. Let's look at a simple example. Imagine someone who always loved creativity growing up. They enjoyed writing, designing, or building ideas. But over time they were told, that's not practical, so they chose a safe career path instead. Years later, they are successful on paper. But every day feels like something inside them is being ignored. Their restlessness isn't random. It's a signal that their work and their authentic nature are disconnected. Some may ask, what is the cost of living inauthentically? Many people spend years adapting themselves to environments that reward performance over authenticity. At work, this might look like hiding your ideas to avoid conflict, pretending to be passionate about things you don't care about, suppressing parts of your personality to fit company culture. Over time. This creates an invisible cost. You begin to feel emotionally exhausted, disconnected from your own voice, uncertain about what you actually want. The reason is simple. When you consistently suppress your authentic self, you create internal tension. You are living two lives. 1. The person you present to the world. 2. The person you truly are. And maintaining that separation requires constant emotional energy. This is why people often say, I feel tired all the time. It's not always the workload. Sometimes it's the performance. To give a practical example, most people recognize, let's consider a common scenario. Imagine someone working in corporate sales. They are good at their job. They meet targets. They earn promotions, but every day requires them to act more aggressive and competitive than they naturally are. Over time, they begin to feel emotionally drained, disconnected from their work, uncertain about their future. Nothing is technically wrong with the job, but the job requires them to constantly act against their natural temperament. This creates misalignment. Now compare that with someone whose personality fits their work. For example, a teacher who naturally loves guiding people, a designer who enjoys creating solutions, a coach who finds meaning in helping others grow. In these cases, work becomes an extension of who they already are. That alignment often produces greater fulfillment, higher motivation, deeper satisfaction, not because the work is easier, but because it is authentic. Now let's explore why people stay in unfulfilling work. If misalignment creates so much unhappiness, why do people stay? There are several powerful reasons. 1. Security work provides stability. Changing direction feels risky. So many people choose certainty over authenticity. 2. Social expectations. Society often rewards titles and status. Someone may stay in a career simply because it looks impressive, even if internally they feel disconnected from it. 3. Fear of starting again. The idea of changing direction later in life can feel overwhelming. People think, I've invested too much time in this. How do I just drop everything? But fulfillment rarely comes from continuing something that no longer fits who you are becoming. You may ask, how can I reconnect with my authentic self? The goal isn't always to quit your job immediately. The deeper goal is to reconnect with who you truly are. Start by asking yourself a few honest questions. What parts of your personality feel most alive? When do you feel most like yourself? What kind of work allows you to express your natural strengths and interests? Sometimes small shifts create meaningful change. For example, someone who enjoys teaching may begin mentoring others at work. Someone passionate about writing may start sharing ideas online. Someone who values creativity may explore projects outside their primary job. Authenticity doesn't always start with dramatic changes. Often it begins with small acts of honesty with yourself. This is the bigger perspective. Your feeling of unfulfillment is not necessarily a failure. It may actually be an invitation. An invitation to ask deeper questions about your life. Questions like, who am I when I'm not performing for others? What kind of work reflects who I truly am? What does a meaningful life actually look like for me? Many people discovered that their restlessness was not something to suppress. It was something to listen to. Because sometimes the discomfort you feel today is the beginning of a more authentic life tomorrow. So here's a question I'd like to leave you with. What if the reason you feel unfulfilled at work isn't failure, but a call to become more authentic? And if that question resonates with you, you may want to explore something deeper. What does it really mean to live an authentic life? That's exactly what we explore in the next videos on this channel. Because the moment you begin asking that question, everything about how you approach work, purpose, and life can start to change. Always choose authenticity.